It's well and truly gaming season, and 2025 has already been absolutely stacked with PlayStation 5 releases. From haunting horrors to adrenaline-fueled shooters, and even some bold new adventures, this list has it all. And hey, quick reminder before we get started, release dates and features are always subject to change. Delays are basically a tradition in gaming at this point. Alright then, let's dive straight into number 10. Kicking off the list, we've got the return of one of the most chaotic looter-shooter franchises ever, Borderlands 4. Now, Borderlands is no stranger to mayhem, but this time Gearbox seems to be shifting the tone just a little. Still colorful, still wacky, but with a slightly more serious, story-driven edge. It's set on a brand new planet, with even more bizarre locations to loot your way through. And of course, the weapons. They're already famous for having a billion gajillion guns. But Borderlands 4 is taking customization to new levels. Different weapon brands can be mixed, matched, and modified, giving each gun its own unique flavor. Naturally, this is best enjoyed with friends, running around blasting bosses, hoarding loot, and laughing at the ridiculous dialogue. Personally, I think Borderlands 4 feels like a fresh start for the series, and I can see myself sinking a lot of hours into it. At number 9, things get spooky. Silent Hill F takes us to 1960s Japan, and honestly, this is one of the most intriguing entries in the series yet. You play as a character named Hikone, who's stuck in a rural Japanese town, being swallowed by fog. Colorful flowers spread across the landscape. At first, they seem beautiful, but the deeper you go, the more twisted and terrifying they become. It's classic Silent Hill psychological horror, eerie puzzles, disturbing monsters, and a storyline that's less about jump scares and more about getting under your skin. If you're a fan of a series, this one's a must-play. And if you're new, well, be ready to sleep with the lights on. Sliding into number 8 is Battlefield 6. And yes, DICE is back with another attempt to redefine massive-scale warfare. Battlefield has always been about size. Huge maps, destructible environments, dozens of players clashing at once. But Battlefield 6 takes things up a notch. Bigger maps than ever, revamped destruction systems, and dynamic weather events that can change the entire match. Picture this. You're holding down a skyscraper rooftop when suddenly a sandstorm sweeps through, cutting visibility to almost nothing. Or maybe a tornado whips across the battlefield, forcing everyone to adapt on the fly. It's chaos, but it's glorious chaos. With new weapons, gadgets, vehicles, and more tactical options, Battlefield 6 feels like the proper next step the franchise needed. Whether you're a sniper perched in the distance, or just someone who loves blowing stuff up with tanks, this game has you covered. At number 7, we've got something for the action lovers. Ninja Gaiden 4. Ryu Hayabusa is back. And if you've ever played a Ninja Gaiden game, you know exactly what that means. Lightning-fast combat, brutal difficulty, and some of the slickest swordplay in gaming. This time, Team Ninja is blending classic precision action with modern flair. We're talking smoother combos, expanded weapon systems, and even new mobility options for chaining those insane acrobatics. But don't worry, the difficulty is still here. Ninja Gaiden 4 isn't about holding your hand. It's about mastering every dodge, every counter, and every slash until you feel like a true ninja. And honestly, that's what makes it so satisfying. At number 6 is Ghost of Yotei, a spiritual successor to the masterpiece Ghost of Tsushima. Set in the snowy mountains of Hokkaido, Ghost of Yotei builds on everything we loved about the original. The open-world exploration looks stunning. Frozen peaks, dense forests, icy villages that feel alive with history. Combat once again blends cinematic samurai duels with stealth-based ghost tactics. But now there are new stances, new tools, and even weather systems that affect gameplay. Imagine sneaking through a blizzard. Visibility low, footsteps muffled in the snow. You rely on instinct and sound to survive. That's the kind of immersion we're talking about. If Ghost of Tsushima was about honor and legacy, Ghost of Yotei feels like a story of survival and sacrifice. And I can't wait to get lost in this world. Crashing into number 5, we've got Dying Light, the Beast. This one actually started out as a DLC for Dying Light 2. But Techland quickly realized they had something bigger on their hands. It's set in a creepy new area called Casterwoods, and the atmosphere leans way more into horror than Dying Light 2 ever did. Of course, you still got parkour, you still got night chases, and you still got brutal melee combat. But the Beast adds new enemy types that are faster, smarter, and way scarier. When night falls, you better believe it's panic time. It might not reinvent the franchise, but the Beast feels like a concentrated shot of everything that makes Dying Light great. Parkour plus horror equals a terrifyingly good time. At number 4, here's a new IP that's been turning heads, Metal Eden. This is a sci-fi action RPG set in a dystopian future where humanity's survival depends on fusing with machines. You play as a soldier caught in the middle of a brutal conflict, trying to uncover the truth about a mysterious project known only as Eden. Gameplay is all about fast-paced combat, with both melee and ranged options. Kind of like if Devil May Cry and Mass Effect had a baby. There's deep customization, branching storylines, an incredible art direction that mixes sleek cyberpunk vibes with dark, industrial settings. It's new, it's bold, and it looks like one of the most exciting fresh ideas to hit the PS5 this year. Coming in at number 3, we've got Cronos, the New Dawn. This is from Bloober Team, the folks who worked on the Silent Hill 2 remake. But this time, they're delivering a fully original horror experience. You play as a time-traveling agent trying to fix a world devastated by a mysterious disaster. That means traveling back to 1980s Poland to prevent events that unleashed terrifying zombie-like creatures. It's at that mix of sci-fi and horror, tense exploration, survival mechanics, and some genuinely creepy design. Bloober has a reputation for atmosphere, and Cronos looks like their most ambitious project yet. If they nail the story, this could be one of the standout horror games of the year. At number 2, it's the long-awaited indie juggernaut, Hollow Knight, Silksong. We've been waiting what feels like forever for this one, but it's finally here. You play as Hornet, exploring the vast insect kingdom of Farlam. It's a Metroidvania adventure packed with secrets, bosses, and platforming challenges. The movement is faster and more fluid than the original. New abilities and tools let you zip around like never before. And with over 200 enemies and 40 bosses, this game is massive. The hand-drawn art is gorgeous. The combat looks sharp. And if Hollow Knight was a masterpiece, Silksong is aiming to surpass it. And finally, at number 1, we got Hell Is Us. This is a third-person adventure game that throws away modern hand-holding. No maps, no markers, no endless HUD clutter. Instead, you're dropped into the fictional land of Hadia and told to explore, survive, and pay attention. That means listening to NPCs, watching your surroundings, and actually engaging with the world instead of just following waypoints. The combat is gritty and intense. Melee battles against bizarre, otherworldly creatures covered in colorful spikes. There are dungeon-like puzzles, and a heavy focus on immersion, the kind of game where you might even want a notebook beside you. Hell Is Us feels like one of the boldest and most original titles of the year, and that's why it takes a top spot. So there you have it, the top 10 best latest PS5 games of 2025. From terrifying horrors, to fast-paced action, to massive-scale shooters, this year is already shaping up to be a special one for PlayStation fans. Which of these games are you most excited for? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy gaming.